everyone, how are you? I can't believe this, but we are already coming up on another moon cycle. So, as I'm recording this, tonight is May 6th. Tomorrow is the 7th, of course. And we have a very powerful, very potent super full moon in Scorpio. You guys know, if you followed my channel for a while, that Scorpio is not one of my favorite signs. I had quite the encounter with that one back when it was Mercury was in retrograde in Scorpio. And let me tell you, and I know I've said it on some of my other videos, if you've watched those recently, that this sign, it's about transformation, it's about change, and it is about death and rebirth. And it stings. If you don't follow your guidance, if you don't follow the things you know you should be doing, the changes will be forced upon you. And I'm not doing this to scare you, but you might, like I said, people have been, I myself got injured when I was not listening to my guidance. It brings about these things, and I think somewhat of how how much it stings is a product of how much you're in resistance. That's not to blame anybody for anything at all. That's not the type of reader or the person I am, if you guys know me. So it's not to scare anybody. It's just, it is a very powerful time right now. And even it would be even without everything else going on in the world. But I'm telling you, this is the last super moon that we have, and our next full moon in June is going to be, I think, an eclipse is what I just read. So buckle up. There's a lot going on now. You guys, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And I'm just so glad you're here. I'm doing something a little bit differently. I wasn't sure if I was even going to do a soul connections video for the full moon. You guys know I kind of got away from it. My journey's been all over the place. And, it's something that I just wasn't sure about doing. But tonight, I was very strongly guided to do this and to actually do a pick a card style, which I've only done a couple of these videos. So I never know what's going to happen. I never know if I'm going to be channeling a message, from spirit, from that collective energy from your masculine or feminine. And again, we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. So, I apologize if I predominantly act like, this is, or say he is, if he's talking to you. The vast majority of my, subscribers are female, but that doesn't mean it can't apply either way. Okay. So if I use a gender, just take it whatever way it resonates. Okay. What we're going to do now, let me think here if I've got any other announcements. I don't think so. Oh, I will timestamp this. So again, it'll be approximate. So just take that with a grain of salt. But if you feel free to pick more than one as well. If one doesn't resonate, or you're drawn to a couple of them, watch them, and you might be meant to hear a little snippet of something in all of these. So no right or wrong way to do this. But what I've done, and I've placed these on my table. I pre-shuffled. That's what I was going to say. I've pre-shuffled. I always, 99% of the time shuffle on camera, but just given the limited time that I have, I don't want to waste your time getting 8. We've got 8 cards here for each pile that I'm going to be using. So 8 was a number that stuck out to me because it represents infinity. It represents abundance. Obviously, this is a soul connection video. So whether you identify with being a twin flame, if you're on the sacred partner path, if you've gone through a catalyst situation like me and had several false twins come forward, and you're kind of now just like, okay, working on yourself, getting your vibration high, and just welcoming whatever, is not whatever, but you know what I mean? Just open to whatever is going to come into the future. That's kind of the path I'm on. So that's why I felt like the pick a card would resonate more, because there's a lot of different collectives happening right now. There are definitely still real genuine twin flames. I believe there are many people who want to be a twin flame and aren't necessarily, and I'm not attacking anybody, don't get me wrong, but I think they're putting up with toxic behavior in the name of a twin flame connection. But that would be a subset of a soul connection. So some of these cards, it may very well come through that this is something you're supposed to let go of as part of your journey right now with this full moon. This full moon is definitely about purging things that are no longer serving our greater good. So what I've done is I have pulled, again, I said 8 cards the Art of Love Tarot. This is my newest deck, and it's just amazing. It's so beautiful. I can't wait to just do more readings with it and to show you guys the cards. What I love about it, besides the artwork, is the fact that they have a different name connotation for each of the suits. So cups is hearts. I believe swords is angels. Trees is pentacles. And I'm trying to remember what wands. Wands is something else. It's something different. Stars. I think it's stars. So it's just absolutely beautiful. So I've got one card from that. That's the only traditional tarot I'm using. I'm using several Doreen Virtue decks. Some are still in print, some are not. I'm using the Romance Angels, Ascended Masters, Goddess Guidance Oracle, I think it's called, and then the Angel Answers. I've also pulled a shadow, Twin Flame Shadow card to see what shadows may be coming up in this particular connection. There was one of these where two were like, boom, came out. So I took both of those. So that deck or that pile has 9 cards. I'm also looking at what needs to be surrendered with this full moon, what needs to be surrendered within the connection, within ourselves, what's maybe, a block. So again, I don't know what's going to come out here. It could be different for each one as far as how I channel this. So bear with me. And also I'm not logistically good at, technical stuff and setup and all this. So bear with me on me showing you guys what we have here, okay? So, there we go. So, we have number 1 is the Lapis Lazuli. I don't know how you say that. Malachite is number 2. That's the green crystal. Okay. Number 3 is carnelian. So just take a moment, and hopefully I did these right. They're upside down to me, so hopefully you guys can see them okay. But just look at, the pile that resonates, that you're drawn to, the crystal that you're drawn to, and pick a number or pick all 3 if you'd like. All right, so make sure I don't get dropped here. So we're going to start number 1 at 6:55. And I have not, I shuffled obviously off camera. I have no idea what is in each pile. So that's why these are always like it's like a grab bag, like a goodie grab bag. It's like, what's going to be inside? I have no idea. They usually always resonate, but sometimes it'll take me a minute to just, but again, this is number 1. This is the bright blue. And it was just, I had several crystals here, but I kind of, when I draw the cards, what crystal wants to be with each one. So, okay. Wow. Okay. And again, I didn't say this before, but, typically if you're watching this video, most likely you're in separation from your person, and that's why you're wanting answers. But it certainly doesn't have to be that way. You could maybe have a friendship with your person. You could, talk to them every now and then, maybe even be dating them, just not in a committed relationship. So it doesn't have to be a situation where you're in separation. Oh my gosh. I just got chills. Woo. Wow. This is beautiful. Okay. So this is a situation, I think, where there is a separation. A physical separation. Remember, we're never separate, ever. Especially, if it is a true sacred bond, as far as a twin flame, sacred partner situation, you're bound, your energies are connected. And I'm starting to believe, you can have that with more than one person. I've had that energetic bond with more than one person myself. So, not limiting it just to twin flames. But the tarot card that came out was the High Priestess. This is absolutely beautiful because I don't know if I said it earlier in my introduction, but the High Priestess energy, it's all about intuition. And it says intuition on this card, going within, the knowing. And what I meant to say was this upcoming full moon, the full moon in Scorpio, is about intuition. It's about heightening psychic gifts. But so I think this is a situation where your truth, your soul's truth. And the cards are confirming to me that this is a legitimate, deep bond here. I'm really not even getting toxic energy. I'm getting a vibe where both partners, I think, are just working on themselves right now. And there may be truths that haven't been spoken as far as the depth of feelings that are there, or an acknowledgement of the connection. That might be why the blue crystal is here, because this is a throat chakra. There could be somebody, and you can hear my voice is getting, it's very, very strange when this happens. My voice is getting raspy, like in my throat. So I think there's somebody here that has not spoken their truth, and is wanting to. And perhaps the person that hasn't heard, receive that confirmation, they know deep down, they know in their soul with the high priestess what this is, but they struggle to remain positive because the person has not expressed these feelings, and because the person is not in their life. So the angel answers card that came out was remain positive. That's absolutely beautiful. And I mean, some of these cards, who knows what'll come up in the other spreads, but some of these cards say not the right time, or move on, or go in a different direction. So they're not all cheery rainbows. We've got give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. So to me, again, just like that deck, the romance angels don't always have positive cards. They might have red flag, separation, something like that. I just 1111 was right when I looked up. That's so amazing. So yeah, it's saying work on your partnership. And I think what they're wanting me to confirm is that by working on yourselves in separation, you are effectively working on your partnership right now. And that's what you have to remember, okay? I think, the shadow that needs to be worked on right now is the void of, feeling that emptiness, feeling that separate, being in that mindset of separation, of that you need that person physically in your life. That's sort of a kind of tied to a codependent energy, which I know I'm not belittling anybody, because I've been there. I've been on this journey for going on 3 years now. And it's hard sometimes, even though, I travel alone and I love living alone, when you've slept every night alone for over 2.5 years, it's a void. Sometimes you want to feel their arms around you. You want to, have somebody, do some things for you. You want to have somebody to check on you and how your day is and that type of stuff. I totally get it. But this is something that needs to be worked on. And I know we say it over and over and over again. Oh my God. Okay. I just saw that last card after what I was just saying. This is so crazy. And this is funny because one is the one that I was the most drawn to myself, when the crystal was like, boom. But the goddess that comes out, what I'm seeing is, okay, yes, there's a void. They're not here. They may have not even spoken their feelings for you. They may have pulled away. But of all the cards, these are just very, very positive. Undying love is the goddess. Isolt, I don't know if I'm saying her name right. The love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, right? This is confirmation that you have to remain positive. Don't give up on this just because right now it's not working out. I'm getting that one or both counterparts is maybe in a negative, fear-based vibration. Somebody may be closing off their heart because of feeling rejected, because of there being a lack of communication, lack of feelings being communicated, because we have Jesus as the ascended master. Open your heart to love. So, and again, what needs to be surrendered with this full moon is surrender worry. I mean, how beautiful is this, you guys? Make a commitment not to lead an anxiety-driven life. When worries arise, breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart. Focus on the power of your heart. Open your heart. And have faith that spirit is guiding you always. Have faith. Remain positive. This is clearly not a situation where you're supposed to give up on this person. I mean, I would flat out tell you if the cards were like, nope, this is just the shadow you've got to work on, needing it. And there needs to be a balance, which I know is very hard. I've had this issue on my own journey. Having a balance between needing this person, right? That codependent, I need them, And then when you detach from that need, you don't want to close your heart off. It's a very delicate balancing act that every day, you've got to maintain it. The message from your person, the card that came through: I feel you get in bed with me at night and hold me. I'm comforted by your loving presence. I feel you get in bed with me at night and hold me. I am comforted by your loving presence. So this person, again, if they've not communicated these things, and it may be a situation where one of the counterparts is starting to awaken. They're starting to tap into their intuition, is what I'm getting. That might be why the High Priestess is here, is that, this full moon energy is really kind of accelerating them on this path. So the best advice that I can give to you, if you chose number 1, is to continue to focus on filling the void of needing this person in your life. Pour love into yourself, open your heart, remain positive, have faith, commit yourself to spirit, and release that anxiety, surrender it. Trust in the communication. There has to be a situation. If you got this eternal undying love card, you've got the High Priestess, you've got all of this confirmation that this person feels you. There's an energetic bond here. So tap into that. When you're feeling this void, again, don't do it in a needy way. Like I go to bed at night, it's like, I need to feel you in my dreams. No, just like in those moments where you feel their energy wash over you, just stop what you're doing, just sit there and just relish it and send them love. And that's what we're supposed to focus on, right? Is detaching from the need in the physical. It's very hard. What I'm getting is to just keep doing that. I'm not seeing that. I don't know that either party needs to make a move. I think there's communication that needs to happen. I'm just getting right now that what you both need to be doing is working on your, opening your hearts, clearing out the codependent paradigm, and then things are going to shift at the right time, and it's just going to happen. Somebody's going to get that intuition, that guidance, boom, and reach out. Okay, so that is absolutely beautiful. So we're going to start with number 2 now, 1720. Okay, number 2, if you chose number 2 and the malachite, which is the green stone. Oh, that's beautiful too. And by the way, if I didn't mention it, the High Priestess is a major arcana. So we also got a major arcana here, which I'm just like, what? Wow. Okay, so what we got was, for the tarot card, was the universe, expansion. This is, in the traditional tarot, it's the world, which ironically, I'm not surprised to see this. That is a card about closing out cycles. But I'm getting, okay, so I just familiarized myself with this new deck last night, but my recollection of it, what's even more beautiful about this Art of Love Tarot, is the major arcana. Some of them are traditional, like the High Priestess. Some of them are like this, where they're a little bit different. They take you through a love story, right? The Fool is the beginning, and it goes through this whole process where there's eventually a breakup. People need to heal themselves, balance, and there's destined and all these things. What I'm getting is, like, this is maybe a situation where there might be a separation happening, and it could just be that there was just too much going on in the respective worlds. It wasn't that there wasn't love there, but I think I'm just picking up on a lot of stress, either with a job situation. There's definitely a lot of just frantic energy here. Um, and I'm getting that maybe there was, there was probably a lot of passion, but there was a lot of arguments. There was a lot of, yeah. And somebody, one of the partners, or maybe both, were making excuses. And I'm getting that maybe it was out of fear, because they're, with the Malachite being here, there's some heart healing that needs to happen. Because we've got the universe expansion. It's like the growth that is happening in this separation, right? There's realizations that are, and if they haven't come, they're going to come, with this full moon. There's some realization of work that needed to be done on yourselves before you could come together. We have yes. Okay, so whatever you had, if you had asked a question about this connection when you chose number 2, the answer would be yes. I'm getting this as a positive yes, that this can be a successful relationship going forward. I think it's going to take some work. I mean, all relationships take work, but I'm getting up much more of I feel like, and this is not, any level of it. I feel like number 1 is a little bit more closer, as far as they've been working on themselves longer, but maybe in separation longer than this batch. What we got for the romance angel was love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So I just feel like there was too much being thrown into a situation. It could have been trying to please that other person, but I'm getting it's more of a work situation. And somebody was, procrastinating with not making the changes they needed to make to, number 1, heal themselves, but also devote time into the connection, into the relationship. And so that led to a breakup because one counterpart, I think, got fed up with there not being, they weren't a priority. And there was always an excuse. I'm too busy for that. I'm too busy to talk about this. And I feel like things would just kind of explode. And some of it was, the person needs to delegate more, who wasn't doing that. But some of it was also an excuse to run from their shadows and run from the connection, and kind of just focus on the happy, passionate times. And it was all about kind of like highs and lows. But then and then you guys will see the rest of the cards that came out where I'm pulling all this from. For the goddess, it was, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Green Tara, start delegating. Ask others, including me, to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. And when it says including me, that means you can call on this goddess. If you're the one that needs help delegating, you can call on her to help you delegate. Whoops. She's like, yeah, call on me. It's funny how she's green too, because we got the Malachite here. Persistence. Lou, I think is how you say this one. And he kind of looks like a lion. So I don't know where I'm getting that from, but like if there's some work that needs to be done, I guess, we're already in May. August is not that far away, but I picked up a vibe on Leo season when I saw this. It doesn't have to be, but just something to keep in mind. The surrender card, what needs to be released in this connection, is surrender procrastination. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. Surrender procrastination, start delegating. Persistence. Persistence is where I'm getting, I think there's work, work that needs to be done here. Yes, it is possible for this connection to come back together and be successful, but, the procrastination has to go. The partners has to start delegating. They have to stop making excuses. And if you're the one who, was putting all the effort into the relationship, you need to stop making excuses for them when they left you out in the cold. It's like, she's just really sad. She's lonely. It's like, again, not to pinpoint a gender here, but this is a woman. If the guy was a workaholic and working all the time, not delegating, not putting in an effort into the relationship the way he was other things, stop making excuses for them. Both partners have to be able to put in the work. Um, Faithless is, I think where there may be the reason there was the break was because the partner who was not feeling like their needs were being met just lost faith in the connection and just said, I can't do this anymore. I've, we keep going round and round is what I'm getting. You're not prioritizing me. And there was a lot of argument about that, I feel like. But I feel like I was picking up on this because we had the universe card again with the world with closing out a cycle, that with this moon, there are shifts being made. If you're not in touch with this person, I feel like they have been doing some work. And, I'm getting to that you may still be in this could even be a situation where you are in the relationship. It's just that you're kind of at wit's end and you're losing faith, right? That could also be the situation. But it's going to take persistence. It's going to take work. The message that your person has for you is, I want us to learn how to have healthy arguments. I have sought professional advice to improve communication and our relationship. So this might apply, if you're in separation, this person is the confirmation that this person is working on these issues. If you are not in separation, I think this is something that you can say to them, if you've not suggested counseling, if you've not suggested, life, spirit coaching, some sort of a, discussion, I think I'm getting there is going to be some sort of movement, I think, with this full moon. But also what I'm getting for a subset of you is that if this doesn't shift, if you're in this relationship and this person is not delegating, they're not willing to work on things, they're making excuses, you're making excuses, they're procrastinating, things keep persisting, I think you're being called, the answer is, if you're in this situation with this full moon, you've asked for a sign of whether you should move on or not. I think the yes could apply to that too. So there's a lot of different energy. Like I said, it just depends on where you are in this connection. I think that I do feel like there's a lot of love here. It's just a matter of, you got to get to this cycle to close this cycle out and be able to expand. And so there's kind of a crossroads here of which way you're going to go. And ultimately, there needs to be some self-love, self-respect that's happening. And if this person isn't respecting you, you need to stop making excuses for them. So, I know that was a little bit all over the place, but I was getting a lot of different scenarios coming in. So I hope that was helpful. But, I didn't mention this at the beginning, but if you'd like to, look into your personal situation and tap into that more, we can certainly do that. We could do a reading, just a general spread, or we can do this type of a spread with these different messages. So, all right, now we're going to move on to pile 3. Pile 3 was the carnelian. Let's see what comes out. Okay, now that makes sense, because I was like, why did I get this card? The last one kind of ties it all together. Okay, so what I'm getting is, this is a situation where someone I feel like, and this might be why we have the carnelian, which is sacral, lower chakra region. Someone gutted you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but you've got, this deck is a little bit more gentle, but you've got the 5 of Angels, which is the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords is a pretty ugly card. It's a card about betrayal. It's a card where somebody, stabbed you in the back. Somebody, it's this, my tarot teacher calls it the smiling snake card. Somebody I feel like just really hurt you. And it could be a situation, twin flames often trigger each other pretty badly. Or, any type of catalyst situation where, you might have not known that they were seeing somebody and you see something show up on Facebook, where they're tagged with somebody on a trip and you're just like, what the heck is that? um, in this deck, it's called withdrawal. So based on what the next card is, I'm gonna, you guys, since this is a new deck, I do want to just see to see if there's a different message that maybe isn't as bad, but because there's some other very good cards here. I just want to see. Yeah. Okay. This definitely makes sense then. All right. Okay. So I think, okay, what I'm getting is there was a heartbreak here. There was hurt. Somebody withdrew from you. Now it's time for you to go within. The yes with an exclamation point that we're getting is you were on the right path. And as bad as this sucks and as bad as it hurts, you were supposed to have, this was supposed to happen. It's supposed to be a lesson for you. You are on the right path. Now, whether or not this person comes back, that remains to be seen. The energies can change. But what I'm getting is this person left, clearly, hurt you in some manner. It was completely unexpected, a shock. It gutted you. Now it's time for you to heal. And this happened so it would be mirrored to you the ways that you don't love yourself, is what I'm getting. You've got the romance angel. It's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. It is safe for you to love. You are going to find that love, but first you have to go within and find that love within you and within, I feel like it was maybe a situation where it was maybe too much attachment or codependency, something like that, where things were out of balance. You may still be early in the stages, if you're just awakening and you're realizing you're on this path with somebody, whether they're a catalyst or whether they're, an actual sacred partner. If it's early in the process, that's when the heavy triggering starts. This is when they just completely pull away from you, for months, and don't talk to you and act like they don't care. That's the type of stuff that happens, unfortunately, when you're on this path. So Mary Magdalene is the goddess that you got. This is absolutely, that Mother Mary's with you. This is unconditional love. This is recognition that you are on this path towards unconditional love. This is the confirmation, yes, that you're doing what you need to be doing to attract that sacred partner. It's just not, this pain, it had to be pulled back to get you to go within, to start healing yourself. The cards for Mary says, love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. It's about finding love in the blessings in your current situation. You can't make this stuff up, you guys. You can't. Krishna is an ascended master. You may want to look into those types of meanings as far as calling on this ascended master, and also Mother Mary. Now, before I forget, and I've got this in my hand here, the Five of Angels in the Art of Love Tarot deck, Five of Swords. Spiral inward and be with your sacred heart. Come to peace with the situation by letting it be. Letting go brings understanding. That's what the sting, of this full moon. I had a feeling one of the connections that was going to come out where it's, you got to let this person go. Doesn't necessarily mean that they aren't going to come back, but you're selling yourself short if you hang on to them and hang on to the past and cling to them. Sell out. That's the shadow, is the sellout. You're selling yourself out by crying. This is a horrific looking card, by the way, but you're selling yourself out by crying tears over this person that did this to you. They did it I know this is going to sound crazy, but it was to help spur your growth. And they had to go on a different path. And maybe they will come back someday. But, would you want to be with somebody who hurt you like that? And it probably wasn't the first time. That's just my guess. Being on the twin flame path myself, probably wasn't the first time they gutted you. But what you got to focus on is the lessons you've learned from that, what it's shown you, what you need to heal within you. Finding blessings in your current situation, focusing on gratitude, surrender to wonder and awe. I mean, every card about this is like focusing on the positive. Open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all life. This attitude will help keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. This is about just letting it be. And it just said here, finding peace with the situation, letting it be, letting go brings understanding. A beautiful angel resides within a cool fire of transformation. This full moon is about transformation. That's what I just said. Anything passes through that violet flame moves into higher vibration of love. This angel of transformation is being constantly reborn into truth. The flowers symbolize the transformation process as they blossom into something new, then gently float into a blue atmosphere of loving communication. Allow loving violet light to shine and heal all layers and levels of your nature and illuminate your higher wisdom. 5 is the number of freedom. Set yourself free. Free yourself from prison of your own observations, thinking. This card indicates feelings of defeat, deflation, revenge. Seek out supportive friends. It's talking about withdrawing into love, coming into peace with where you are, releasing old states of mind. I mean, you guys, you've got to, this is about using this Scorpio full moon. I would write a letter to your person. Anybody who's made you feel this way, but I feel like there's one specific person, and if this is resonating, write a letter to this person, write out everything that they've made you feel. And you'll probably get some insight as to when you're writing that, you made me, I feel this way, I feel that way. It's like, oh, that's something I need to work on healing. That's something that I need to focus on. If you made me feel unworthy, if you made me feel ugly, if you made me feel undesirable, those are shadows, things within you that you need to work on healing, right? So it'll give you some insight there. It's a very good cleansing process to write all this stuff out, cry, get some Apache tears, again, my go-to grief crystal, and then burn it, and work on letting it go. The message that your person has for you. We are always together in dreams. I know that I took the wrong path, and my mind often wanders to a vision of a life with you. I wish that I could turn back time. So I am getting that this person is sorry. I'm getting that they know that they've hurt you. Whether or not they actually apologize, I wouldn't, hold out on that. It would be nice, I know, in the situations I've had to have an apology, but you get to the point where you forgive them. You thank them. I mean, I'm at a point now where it hurts, and I might cry or do whatever, but I forgive them and I thank them for the lesson, because I know every time you go through this, if this is your first time, I feel for you. I know. Each time that you just crash and burn, you rise from the ashes like a phoenix. That's what this moon's about. Each time it takes less time to get over the triggers, and you come out even stronger, and your vibration's even higher. It is a brutal process. It isn't pretty, and it's not fun, but you get to a point where, you eventually you can detach, and you realize the gifts that you've been given. I know it sounds crazy, but if this is resonating for you, I'm happy to schedule a session with you to talk. I'm very, very open about my personal experiences on this journey, about the ways I've been triggered, the ways I've been hurt, the ways it made me feel, how I dealt with it. I mean, it took me 2.5 years, really. I mean, a good 2.5 years on a 3-year journey with a person, the catalyst that awakened me to really let him go. And to realize, like, no, like, this is not what's going to, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not putting myself through this, and I don't have to, because I've raised my vibration enough to where I don't want this person to come back around anyway, unless they've completely up-leveled, right? Nothing against them. I'm grateful, but you've got to get to a point where you're not chasing somebody that's going to 5 swords you. over and over and over again. You're on the right path, right? You need to love yourself, open your heart to God, to Mother Mary. This person does dream of you, and I think they're sorry. But whether or not you get that apology, you can't hold out for that. You've got to start focusing on you and go forward. Okay. So I hope this was helpful for you all. Lots of different messages coming through. So I'm happy again that the information's down below if you'd like to look at your personal situation. But take care and get a lot of rest, drink a lot of water. This is an intense full moon, and rest when you need to. Okay. Take care. I'll see you next time.